arriving at Ignatius. Ready for battle.
Welcome, welcome. Make sure everything's working. Yes. Welcome, welcome. We are here. We've got Talon versus Ignatius. And so Talon, Team Blue versus Ignatius, Team Red. I am familiar with some of the Ignatius players as I have played with some of them before and seen them play. And so we're going to get going here. Oh, potentially, you got a minute and a half, so that gives me time to kind of, to send links and such like that to Discord. But as we start out, we've got Talon running a ball comp with, obviously, Ball, Echo, Reaper, with a Curie Lucio, so hella very aggressive dive, all in, versus a Brawl comp played by Ignatius with a Curie Juno backline with a Cass May. So it looks like they're trying to play the wall strategy here.
Round one, capture.
And as we begin, we're going to get started here. And it looks like, hopefully the volume's okay. It looks like Talon's going to be going in first here. It's going to be 4J holding the high ground. Obviously, names car keys because his account got banned for whatever reason. So rolls in, looking for a chance to get picked, but Fox ends up touching out Ronan here, and now he's gonna hold this corner here on the main show with Spaghetti here, watching the high ground. It looks like Car Key is gonna get shut down, and it looks like Ignatius is gonna be the first one to point here. And it looks like it will just be a reset here for Talon as they are going to just look to get the point here. Doesn't look like any kind of swaps are going to be coming through. And it looks like Ignatius are just going to be holding this point here. But again, Jed gets a pick onto Foss. And that means with down there Juno, that's going to put Karki's diving evasion. That might allow Talon to cap here. Ronan is going to be trying to get hold of the room, but it ends up dying to Fox here. Fox. Now in the room. That's ready, and that's going to have to force Talon to back up again. But still holding the point. They haven't decided to cap yet. Recap yet. It looks like they will. But Talon will just back up and hold it with that. Looking like they want to be able to hold this front area. With the kind of Y crosshair that you kind of see sometimes. Victor. Gonna be kind of like dancing through between the wall and the cage. Looking to see if he can get any little bit of poke damage. Very close to a beat. 3 ults really close here for the side of Ignatius. 1 beat. Somewhat close. Here comes the freeze. That's going to leave Victor close to death. He gets very low to the Ramacha, but ends up dying, but ends up getting the boot kill onto Matt. But it ends up being a double trade here. Karki dives onto Fox, ends up getting the kill. And it looks like that's going to leave Foxart here on the point, dancing Fox for Annihilation. And it looks like they're just going to end up letting this run out with Nightmare and Ronin here watching the off angle, but ends up Ronin's not paying attention. Gets picked off. Seeing Foxtrot charge forward, see if he can catch Nightmare out, but ends up Nightmare sitting too far out of distance. Jetty sits there, helping for a little bit, but it looks like they're just content to back off and play the long game. Matt holding it really up behind, topped by Karki. Also known as 4J. Looks like they're just gonna kind of poke each other out. Beat. Popped by Victor, also known as Alex. Continuing Russian response with Ronin popping the Blossom in behind Mayveld. Looks like Matt is just going to be battling on car keys here for a chance. But it looks like Victor's going to get the boop off the map. 90% here, 90% in counting here for Team Talon. Will they get the touch here? Will Ignatius get the touch? 2 ults here on play. Matt changes over to Tracer. Can they get the touch? Evasion, trying to sneak over, but it doesn't look like they'll have time to touch, and this will be a 152 cap for Team Talon. Now, if you'll excuse me.
1-0.
But yes,
Ready for battle.
as we get here in round 2, we've got Ruins here.
What's the pettiest thing someone's ever taken seriously? So my friend...
Forgive me, that was my YouTube running. I do not want it running. I want to be able to look at my shit. Booby dooby doop boop boop. Huh? But yes, as we get here in round 2, we've got Ruins here.
What's the pettiest thing someone's ever taken seriously? So my friend...
Forgive me, that was my... Okay, now that I know that this is working... Looks like we're going to be here waiting for a minute. Looks like there's going to be a Tracer here played by originally was on Echo, but it ended up changing off. It looks like Ignatius will be kind of going over to a dive comp of their own to prepare for the ball, with Foss and Mayvel going to the Brig Ana to kind of counter dive that, with Vazen, Tracer, Nat, the Genji, and Fox the Winston. So, out main roll, Winston jumping on the point, but Karki is very close behind, holding that mega health pack. Looks like they're just kind of be poking each other out, seeing what they can get. Rowan, rest of Team Talon's kind of moving up on the side, but Ronan's kind of not paying attention. Ends up having to fade away due to Foxart kind of applying pressure. Matt's just kind of trying to see if he can poke out Victor, but Victor's going to end up getting away. Arceus gets antied, but ends up making it back to their allies. It looks like it's just going to be a fight for point here, as they're just going to be kind of battling it out here on the point. Fox looks to dive, but ends up getting moved away by Victor. Try to make sure their team is healed up. Victor's going to just be looking. Just kind of keep the Winston at bay. First cap here for Ignatius. But it looks like Nightmare ends up winning the 3-2 against Evasion. Ends up getting in the back line. Sees that Boston and May, I'm going to say, on their own sitting. But the perks of a Brig is that you do get the ability to kind of hold space and kind of keep your honor space a lot of the time, because she does have very good cooldowns like Anthony. Fox gets very low. Head over. Karki's look to have rolled in, but ends up not able to do it. Jetty gets the headshot kill onto Evasion. 45 here in favor here of Talon, but ends up May gets to sleep and forces Jorge gets a slam in, gets made very low, ends up getting the follow with the help of Nightmare. Both supports down on the side of Ignatius. Primal, here, popped by Fox, looking to see if they can bring it back here, or at least keep it going. 3 ults here with Talon, but it looks like they're going to have to pop anything. Nano here, waiting to return, ready to get the pick on the map. Fox has to back out. They are very low, but ends up getting picked out and chased by Karki's and Nightmare. We've got just Evasion here, just kind of hanging out in the back line, super low. And it looks like they might be unable to get away, but it looks like they will. Oh, no, they won't. Ronan's going to end up getting the pick here. It's a playing the Talon. Looks like they're just going to be poking out, but it looks like they're going to back off. Bob is holding this space. But 4 ults, 3 ults here, on the side. And pop. But Ronan responds in kind with a Death Blossom, but it ends up just getting punched. Fox is just like, get the fuck out of my lobby there, Reaper. Well, that's kind of what ends up happening there. ends up getting taken down by her. Sorry, I'm also kind of half paying attention, so I'm trying to see if I can get shit posted on Discord for people to watch. Slam! Huge slam by Carr on to Matt. Looks like he's just going to be playing here. One thing, but Fox ends up picking him out all the rest of the team. Pulse Bomb goes wide for Nightmare. Evasion's going to be playing here on this off angle. Ends up getting caught. Nano Blade, or not just a blade, here, pop. Here by Matt, trying to extend it, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to extend it much longer. Looks like another primary help by Fox here. Try to keep the fight going, alive. Fox also, the only support left, gets the health back, and now is just trying to make sure they stay away, but Nightmare ends up getting the pick. Pops the news, try to last a little bit longer, but ends up dying out. Fox is the only one to hold point, but they're actually surviving quite a long time, but it ends up getting picked out by Ronan, and Nightmare picks out May, and that's going to be 100 to 52 here for Talon on second point.
Score 2-0. Ready for battle.
Let's get back here. Anybody watching? Not at least right now, anyway. So we're just gonna quickly go back. Any changes for either team? Looks like May is gonna be going over to the BAP. A little more sustain, a little more anti-dive with the help of the Lamb and Regenerative Burst. But Foss going over the Weaver? Are they playing the BAP Weaver strat here? With another Reaper by Matt and Fox also pulling out the Orisa.
1. Round 3.
So, interesting style that they want to play here. Looks like they're going to be rolling out here through... Looks like they want to go high on the stairs, and it looks like Carr's just going to be sitting above them, looking for a chance to slam, but... Oh! Fox, though, picks him out. And looks like Matt wins the Reaper duel, but Karki trades a Reaper in kind. So, both teams down their Reapers. But it's going to be, it looks like, Talon holding this first point initially. Fox and Vazen look to have dropped, same with the rest of Ignatius, but it looks like a huge slam, but... Spear? Spearsman ends up taking out Carr and Victor, with Fox getting a pick on the Nightmare. It looks like Ignatius is also going to get the first cap here on this third point on Lighthouse. It looks like they're going to be taking up the forward space here. Wanting to play stairs. Huge. Looks like Karki is just going straight into the air with looking for a slam. Fox through the spear. Doesn't look like he did anything. Another slam in. Nightmare's trying to follow up on Vazen, but Immo Field popped out. But huge just swing by Carr. It ends up taking May, and Fox just possibly got taken along with it, and it just looks like there's going to be a cleanup here, and it looks like it's just going to be Ignatius looking to just kind of set back up again, but Matt wanted to kind of stay on point, hoping to last a little more off charge, or at least point percentage on the I can English, but yeah, Ronan, Hound's going to be holding up on this high ground here, wanting to stop Ignatius from advancing, and it looks like Fox going to pushing down low side into cage. Finds pop by 4J, kind of cutting off the team from each other. Foss ends up really low, but ends up at first being saved by the Immo Field, but ends up dying to Ronan. Nightmare also takes out Evasion with that as well as Matt. And so that's going to be another fight win here for Talon as they look to continue controlling this match. Fox is kind of left staggered out, and Alpha's going to pick up a quick 2-piece for the Troubles. You have the stats on the left if you ever want to know them, but you also got these stats right here if you really want to see the overall stats. Nightmare getting hit by Vazen for a little over-aggression, I guess. Well finished. Fox. Gonna pop, though. Gonna pop the character and protect her. Dead Eye pops here. Gets Oh, a good drop kill on a Ronin, and Fox finishes out Victor. And looks like Ignatius will end up retaking this point. Nightmare does take out Maze for their trouble. It looks like Ignatius will control this point here. Car keys goes to reset and get the health back. And they're just going to be poking out. Talon, they're just going to be poking out. No need to rush. 2 ults here on their side with a 3rd. Very close coming up, but Jetty gets picked out. Picked out by Evasion. Base. Evasion's just this. Gonna be taken here. We're looking for a chance to possibly pick something off. Ronin's looking to drop in. Waiting for that spear to pop. Did you hear it? And here it goes. Gets the 2-piece. It looks like that will be a fight win there for Team Talon. 89% for Ignatius, so they have time for another touch. 80% in counting though for Talon, so Ignatius is going to have to be quick, but it's going to be hard to be quick with a Bap Weaver. 4J is just going to be looking to kind of just chill here. Fox. Kind of chilling here, up above the point. With the rest of the core kind of sitting tight. Victor gets a kill, but it's getting traded out. Ignatius, though, with the help of Evasion 2-piece, is going to likely be able to take this point, which they will. But Jetty hops in for a quick 2-piece! 2-piece! Smooth 2-piece here by Jetty. And it looks like Fox and Jetty are going to battle it out, but unfortunately they're going to end up losing that. Just Victor and Jetty here trying to battle out Fox on the other side, but 4J returns. But May. So pops the window, trying to see if they can keep the ball in check. So ends up getting taken out. It looks like they'll just pop the Deadeye onto the point, stop the recontest, and it looks like Ignatius will get this final point, 100-99. Good recontest, and able to take that point.
Play
The game goes to Foxard. Foxard. I'm just gonna say Fox, because Because, my god, names are hard, especially people's usernames. People's usernames are absolutely hilariously hard to say sometimes. But overall, a technical map win for Team Talon. Though, again, we are in a scrim, using the scrim code, so wins and losses don't matter too much. But we're here to say it anyway, because we're a funny man. Anyway, while we wait for their next map to be decided, we're going to make sure that I can get stuff sent in self-promo of Discord servers. So you're gonna have to give me a hot minute. Looks like Ignatius is going to want to go to the Rialto here. So while we continue getting I continue getting stuff put up via self-promotion on Discord, I will answer any messages here in a second. Do 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 do. And last one. Perfect. Okay. So hello to people watching. Any questions or anything like that? I don't know. Something of something. Feel free to chime in on anything as we go into this Rialto match.
Welcome to Rialto. Ready for battle.
Oh, looks like they wanted to sub in Ace, I guess. Or Ronan had to leave. And so it looks like Ace is going to be coming in, playing the Freya with Car playing Diva. Diva is really good on this map, usually a lot of high grounds to play. Foss going to continue here on this Weaver, with Mei pulling out the Ana. Anyway,
Hello.
Nightmare's gonna be pulling out the Ashe here, so it looks like DPS kind of generally a little more pokey, but still with like kind of the all-in backline that is somewhat UCL carry, and a hybrid of a dive comp here from Ignatius here. Like you'd think you'd play the Brig into this or something like a Lucio, but instead they're gonna be playing Weaver here. And so it's kind of interesting to see what they may end up bringing here to the table. And as Ignatius here is the visiting team, they will be on red and be attacking first. It looks like Talon here is going to be set up here on the high ground, wanting to play the initial poke fest here on this first balcony. And as we begin, looks like Ignatius just fine, kind of pushing the card up for right now. Fox is going to be holding this this kind of right balcony for the attacking side, as the rest of Talon kind of hold up here on the high ground. Nightmare is going to drop down, looking for a chance to pick out Raisin here on the Tracer, but Karki is going to be contesting, but ends up backing out here. Both Mei and Foss sit here in the back, just pocketing out their tank. And it looks like a dive here by Matt and Fox ends up catching out Ace, and it looks like they're just going to be holding this high ground here. Kars, though, is going to have to help recontest. Weaver ends up pulling out Matt, as it looks like Kar is just going to be contesting this, but ends up going to be hiding back to try to catch out Matt. Matt, though, gets the health pack, ends up having to hold the deflect. Kar at first had no idea where I think anything was, and so they're going to be trying to pick out Jetty, who ends up keeping away. Jetty going to hold it. Looks like the rest of the town's going to hold back here. Apple choke. Kar end up going in, ends up picking out Matt. Fox is going to end up just kind of sitting by this doorway as they're deciding to dive the rest of the team. Catches out Nightmare. Victor commits the B. And looks like that might have to force Ignatius perhaps back up here. But a trade here as Victor ends up taking out Fox and Vazen takes out Ace. And so just gonna have to be a reset for both teams, but Vazen gets the pulse bomb. Nightmare though returns. Gets the dynamite. Looks like Car's gonna end up getting the finish.
Hi. Are you busy?
Hey Soso, what's up? I'm actually casting Scrim right now.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I'll be on in a little bit once this is done. I'll be on play.
Right. I'll be in my own vocal, I guess.
Fair enough.
Here. See you later.
Yep. See you later. And that was so-so. Lovely Canadian as well. As we missed, we got the double blade there by Matt, and Tarky's ended up picking out May. Who ends up getting a bomb kill, but Fox is going to pop the primal here, trying to keep this fight going. Card though remains really low and is trying to see if they can catch them out. And ends up doing so. With a huge jump and a swing of the fist. Ends up catching out. It looks like they're going to end up contesting, but Victor here is just sitting on the point here, and Nightmare's going to end up popping the Bob. Bob goes out, trying to contest the point a little bit, and now Nightmare ends up being the one to contest the point. So, fast pops the bola shot. Falls with wide by Vazen. That looks like 0.16 meters left to go on the point, 30 seconds remaining on this attack phase for Ignatius. Car gets D-Mech. Fox is going to be holding this position, but gets up very low. Beat here, popped by Victor, as he ends up committing, trying to catch Vazen. 0.06 left to go. 2 people down on the side of Talon, but it looks like it will finally go to the side of Ignatius, as they will take it with about 240 left to go. As Carr looks to just probably back out of that, and just end up remaining to stay alive. But it looks like Fox and Matt are going to end up pushing up aggressively, allowing their team to get some extra card push here. Guys almost said a cult. I don't know what I was saying. But Ace is going to be making the swap over the cast, trying to probably stop the Monkey, the Tracer, and the Genji all from diving their team here. Trying to kind of keep the core them and the Ashe a little safer. As the cart rounds under the first choke on second point. Car is going to contest this though. Here on the point. Ace though, is going to end up. Fox is just trying to see if they can pick up somebody else, but it doesn't look like they're unable to. Primal though, blocked here by Fox here, and they're going to be just dropped in here with a double kill, and actually made that a triple, as them and I think Matt here are in the background. But Jetty and Car still remain on this point. But Jetty unfortunately is not going to likely last long, but ends up managing to TP away. 7 HP in a dream here. As they just wait for the rest of the team to return. It doesn't look like Fox ended up noticing, and Karkis gets picked.
I'm with you.
Nightmare picks out Vazen. 5 ults here for the side of Ignatius. With 2 here for Talon. But Fox ends up getting picked out, so it looks like they're going to have to wait some more. A minute left to go on this attack phase here on second point for Ignatius. Looks like they're just going to be regrouping, kind of poking out here on the bridge. Looks like they want to potentially rotate here up on the high ground, but ends up good dynamite benefit there. Ends up catching out May. It looks like they're going to decide against going up. But a Nano Blade popped by Ignatius. But unfortunately unable to get any picks with it, and ends up just getting shut down as a result of it. Bob popped in with the self-destruct, but a pulse bomb here. Ends up getting caught by Vazen as they're trying to see if they can get anything done here. Cartizo trades out Fox on him. And so right now advantage seems to be in Talon's favor as Vazen gets very low but ends up getting the health pack in return. They're just trying to keep themselves going. Beat Pop to commit. They're just going to end up going into the back line. Reveal gets the sleep, but unfortunately that's not going to do help much on this situation. As Fox, as they're just trying to keep the recontest going. As Fox pops the primal, catches Nightmare out, as Matt was contesting the point. Jetty gets the TP away, but not for that long, ends up getting picked out. Here, Cars still remaining here on point. With Fox kind of clutching up there to help them get the point with a minute and 30 to go. Getting that third point to go. poking out here, just in this large choke. On third point. See if I can get anything, but Kara is going to be there to help contest. Ace here, sitting on this off angle, trying to see if they can get any picks, but Basin is there in response. Let's see if they can catch out. Pulse bomb in hand. Will they end up using it? Who knows? Doesn't look like they want to commit to it just yet. Looks like they might be waiting for a Caesar to come out. So it looks like they're just more than happy to poke this out a little bit, but it looks like they have a chance to get the pick, which Matt ends up helping finish off. Same on. Bomb ends up getting the rest of the team super low. Pops by Karki, himself up and going in this fight. Jetty pops, continuing rush, try to keep let the team get back in and use heals a little quicker. Jetty though remains really low around the tree, but ends up getting picked out by Vision. And clean up here. It looks like it's going to be for cleanup looks to be here for Ignatius, as they're going to be able to clean up here on third point. So it took all of their time bank to be able to take this third point. They're going to end up taking this, no time on the clock. But anyway, I'd like to continue, as I will respond to comments. Hi Fleesh, yes, Talon is winning. At least for the moment in maps. This is map 2.
Ready for battle.
I'm the last one you'll ever cross.
Anyway, as we get set up here for round 2, swapping sides, we're going to take a look at the scoreline here. Demonic score indeed, put in the comment section, as Victor ends up having a 666 scoreline, which is hilarious in the way. But biggest, like, all of, like, Ignatius's front line, with the help of Tracer, Genji, Winston, is just being very impressive. As a combined, 11 deaths between them, but they have a combined, how many eliminations? That is 46, 64 eliminations between them. Karki, aka 4J, is the only one with above 10 eliminations on their team, but they did well holding off the point as much as they possibly could. Looks like Ignatius is going to be going Sigma Ash Torb with instead of Inanna the BAP, and again the Life Weaver. So to stall fights out a bit. Anyway, fun little chat here from Ignatius, just kind of messing around a little bit.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
As we like to go here. Same comp here by Talon. Looks like they're going to keep running out the same thing as it kind of has been working so far. Car is going to end up holding this right side balcony on the attacker side, but Vazen here watching with the turret on the left side balcony. Ace going to be making the swap over to Freya, probably to provide a little more pressure than the cast, because Freya does have a lot more greater pressure at longer ranges. We're going to here get on Ace's perspective, see what they're going to be looking at. They're going to be playing the poke out here with Matt. Nightmare though, also playing a poke style character in Nash. Gonna be trying to poke out Basin. Pops up to that left side balcony. Basin gets really low, but ends up looking to get bailed out by their team. Boss here. Managed to get the life grip here on the Basin. I'm pretty sure, and get her out of it. Basin though gets really low. Ace is gonna be the first one to go here in this round, followed by Victor. And right now that just leaves Car kind of holding the high ground at 40 HP, super low.
Take a lot of damage, huh?
using the Ash map. And they're just going to be holding a small room. But it looks like the Torb flank is coming in. Trying to see if they can get a pick, but Vector is going to just bop them out of there and make sure they can't hold that space. But unfortunately, they're going to have to back enter. Ace gets really low. What's happening? Not clear, but unfortunately, get much. Nice. Fox does get the flux and gets the D-Mac with a double kill in his toe. Looks like that's gonna force that one DPS to go back up as Ace remains really low but gets picked up by Fox.
Withdrawing the barrier.
Looks like the Ignatius support lines are gonna be sitting up here safe on the high ground. Looking to just kind of provide at this point. Because the good thing about Weaver is that Weaver can extend fights, not exactly win them, because of the high amount of, as much as the Weaver is a number character. Be committed as they look to commit and get aggressive. But Bob is popped in by Matt to try to stop this aggressive push as card keys remains really low. And Foss picks up Victor. A bowler shot that doesn't really get account to much of anything. And that's going to leave Talon in a very awkward position here, as Victor makes a swap over the BAP here, probably for a little more range poke damage, considering of what they have. 45 seconds left to go here on this attack side for Talon. Has two ults here with a Bob and a Kitsune Rush, but in turn, they have to beat out the Splooge on the window. Fox gonna be just kind of holding this original choke as Karkis makes a swap over the wrist, trying to have a little more brawl potential. Fast though, gets the clean pick on a mat, and that's gonna put them in 45. Kitsune Rush committed here. As Karki's gonna be running in, half health to hold the corner. 10 seconds, window, pop, followed by the Fox. Get the double pick here, and then just gonna hold the space. The Bob can't exactly do too much. Overtime here. But unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be the end of Talon's push here. Unfortunately, they were unable to get through that. And while they did have some good moments, it looks like Ignatius was just able to kind of break through sooner. Even if at overtime pushes, they were just able to break through this map a lot easier. Fox with another play of the game here. The huge kill on to D.Va there to get them into the water, and then just kind of end up kiting back to catch out Victor, who is kind of sitting on point. It was a good play. A little bit of water so we can continue going. But will we see any swaps here from Talon? We don't know. And or Ignatius? Again, don't know. Anyway. As we wait for the map to be picked. Anyway, King's Row gonna be the pick here. We always love a good King's Row map. After the Control and Escort, we got a hybrid here. Looks like both teams are ready. Any major swaps here? Doesn't look like anything major here for swaps on the side of either team. Now that's some high quality H2O. This video is sponsored. No, I don't have a sponsor for this video. You know, it'd be nice if I could do YouTube as not like a kind of a hobby. I wish I could do this kind of full time. Like, it'd be very, very nice if I could do this full time. Like, I would kill to have something like this a full time gig. You know what I mean? As we're just kind of sitting here waiting, both teams are ready. So I'm just wondering, what are we thinking here? I'm assuming one team or the other is thinking about what they want to do right now. But I guess we'll see. I'm gonna step away here. We get into the map.
Now entering King's Row. Ready for battle.
We'll get out here onto first point King's Row. It looks like Talon's wanting to play a bit more of a rush comp with the Ram May, but gonna keep the Reaper. Still wanting to keep the Lucio Kiri backline, as it is a generally strong backline. What is Ignatius playing? They're playing a Ramatra with a Genji Soj Bap Zen. So it looks like a little more pokey style Ram comp.
5,
Other than the Genji die.
3, 2, 1.
I'm curious what their thought
Attackers
process here
incoming.
is on that. It's interesting to see what they're running
Defend
here.
objective
As it looks like Carr's just gonna hold the corner. May wall popped out, see if they can block anybody off. Unfortunately, that plan goes for naught. As Spock is just gonna walk forward, ends up taking a bit of space, but ends up getting poked out here. Lamp's gonna have to be popped here as they're forced back away. Invasion looking to get a bit of poke damage. That's your 6 on the off angle. kind of dealing it out with Basin. Ends up not getting much out of that. Fox remains really low. And it looks like Car is just going to take this out, but ends up taking too much damage due to Discord Orb. It looks like that's going to allow room here for Ignatius to restore it. And they might end up taking this first point. Looks like a possible quick recontest here by Talon, but it looks like they might just give this one up. End up letting them have it. It's about five and a quarter minutes to go here to catch second. Good time bank here. As they're gonna leave Foss here to take the point. Kind of push the payload through the choke. As it looks like Talon wants to hold the S-turn, the first S-turn corner. It's gonna push forward. Fortunately, not able to go much further.
This ends now.
Wall and window, but a beaten response. Sorry, I'm a little itchy. But it looks like it ends up going to be a fight win here for Talon, but Fox does have something to say about that. Unfortunately, Fox is kind of caught out after Transcendence ends, and it looks like Fox is just going to try to last before they end up dying out too, but fight win here for Talon as they're going to stop the chart just past choke. It looks like they're just going to hold around the cart, provides a bit of cover, so they can kind of walk around with it. They're going to hold this choke. Freeze popped in. One gets pulled out by the light. Genji Blade. Committed. With the 2-piece on both the DPS and trying to see if they can catch Genji out as well. Unable to do much as both Rhinos are popped, but unfortunately, Car's just going to last shorter. As that Genji Blade helps them break through and gets them past the S-turn. Now approaching the final corner here on second point.
What's this about? What's this about?
They're just going to end up pushing up top. Jetty, though, convinced the Consider Rush out of spawn to try to get forward, but unfortunately they were unable to do too much out of it. Shut down hard. As that's just going to leave Card kind of by himself to try to back up and not die. Point reached with 4 minutes to battle. Just over 4 minutes to go. Ignatius is running in with all the momentum at this moment. As they're just going to be looking to kind of hold this last quarter. It looks like they're going to be playing super far back as Ignatius kind of pushes far up as they're waiting for their team to kind of respawn. Matt's going to hold this top area high ground, try to poke out, see if they can get anything, as Talon looks to burst out of the small room, try to contest the card a little bit. Matt half forced off high ground with the rest of Talon kind of going up there to support with all the mobile characters. Nightmare gets the pick onto Fox, and that's going to force Ignatius to back up and wait to regroup. 3.5 to go. All online for Nightmare with that freeze, but a beat as well here by Victor. But Foss has this tree. Where's Foss? Foss has the tree. An overclock is taken out of the fight, too. But a window and a close Genji Blade here, and it's going to be a very interesting fight to see how both teams approach this, but Annihilation is also very close here for Karki. Good Vortex should stop Matt, but that also depends. They're just going to hold this corner, not allow that. Window, pop, but a freeze popped in response. Nightmare's going to wind up walking forward, but Fox. Blade pop. Fox gets 2 kills to the Annihilation. Getting Victor as a third. Nightmare and Karki's kind of flip the map a little bit. But it looks like Karki's is just going to end up stranded. And he he's gonna pop ult here. Questionable ult decision here. Probably just to try to live, but ends up actually living that. 118 HP. If he's gonna end up living, he's gonna end up running in. But unfortunately, both two characters down here on the side of Talon, and part of the assist is left with nothing but to kind of block and just kind of pray that he still lives. That's gonna be a 2-minute time ban here for Ignatius as they end up taking that third point.
To 3. Switching sides. Ready for battle.
Looks like they're going to stick with the same comp here as that they went before. What is Talon going to do here? Because right now, it looks like their comp has kind of gotten figured out, and they're going to probably have to adjust here. Decide what is worth it. Doesn't look like Talon, though, are shying away from the comp that they want to run. They're very committed to wanting to run this comp, and they're going to keep running that comp.
3, 2, 1. Attackers in.
No changes from either side. Raven's going to sit up here on the high ground, try to get some early poke damage. Eskar is going to walk out and just come out, look, see if there's anything in that show. Rotate here on statues, see if they can get any additional poke damage. But Fox is also here to stand and keep them away. Ace gets really low, but he'll back up. Ammo pop, so they have a chance to walk as Victor gets popped up by a rail, so that's going to have to probably force Talon back up. But Ace does take out a parting gift to Matt, but Raisin trades it right back in a rail shot. Soldier just provides so much damage, man, sometimes. It's insane how... Even on pro play, she's still like one of the most played people. But she just provides so much. Go here on the perspective of Ace here, as Talon looks to walk in, as they catch Matt out. We went for Hanzo instead of the Genji. And Fox is just going to walk forward with the Annihilation. That ends up getting... traded out after taking out Victor. That's going to leave hard to just kind of walk forward and take more free space as they almost have an ult here. Vaden's just going to have to look to run away here, but unfortunately they're just going to get taken out. He's gonna pop the ult here. Doesn't decide to chase Matt. But a window here pop as Maid's just gonna look to try to pocket their team up. But Boss also has it up, but unfortunately they're not gonna be able to do too much, and they're just gonna allow themselves to get reset here. About 4.5 minutes to try to take the point. But unfortunately, Matt does end up quite staggered, but they get the respawn here with Maven. But
I'm getting good at this.
I may have got the melee kill on the Faceit. Where is Faceit? Anybody any idea where that was? So, 4 ults here for the side of Talon, with 1 ult and a close dragon on the way. Both support ults were popped in that last fight by Ignatius, with the tank ult popped by Talon. As they look to push up past S-turn, as they're going to hold the second corner of S-turn. Unfortunately, they didn't push the cart immediately, so they're going to be a little behind here. But it's just going to be a battle for positioning. As Ace gets really low, and looks to run in. Doesn't have the health pack available. Nightmare is going to pop a freeze, try to gain some space here. beat popped in response to the dragon to keep the rest of the team up. And Fox just gets a good annihilation, end up catching out all of Talon, forcing them to have to reset here. Fight win that Ignatius has managed to get on to second point that Talon just was unable to receive. And that's 3 ults here. Fortunately, unable to get much value out of them. Amazing still has the overclock available if they want to pop it, but the Russian response, so they can tie away, or they can push aggressively if they want to. Looks like they're going to choose the latter, as they push forward really quickly. Ends up taking Vacant and Boss out, and it doesn't look like they were expecting it. Maybe they're just kind of hopping in. I'm assuming they were thinking just to reset here. Does take Matt is going to be sitting here on the top angle, seeing if they can get a cheeky pick before dying. Unfortunately, they're just going to get staggered out. Looks like they want to try to push card in as quickly as they possibly can here. A is going to be sitting here on this top angle. In a cheeky angle, seeing if they can just kind of check. Fox, though, going to be walking in. Going to try to see if they can pick out Jetty, but unfortunately, unable to do so. Less than 5 meters to go as Vazen pops the overclock. Unfortunately, unable to get much as Bass ends up, but Lucio is taken out. Is Karki's gonna walk past this window? Doesn't look like he wants to walk past this window quite yet. And now it's a kind of a big mistake. Probably should have walked past the window. Now you're low and kind of just face taking a lot of damage unnecessarily. With a minute left to go, Talon's gonna have to regroup here with about 3 ults here on their side compared to the 2 for Ignatius. Vasion's gonna be sitting here on the high ground, but not deciding not to do much with it. Dragons popped. Talon, though, able to kite it. Though, Ice was too low, kind of remaining in front of Fox. As Vazen kind of sits above. Shooting rush popped by Spaghetti. And a freeze. Victor's going to be looking to see if they can get Vazen off the high ground here, and looks like they will be able to. Now let's see if they can hit the beats and kind of keep it going. As they do get 2 picks, but it's not a guarantee that they'll be able to take this. They do end up catching Vazen up top, and they have... Oh, but they get the double kill. No time on the clock here. They're gonna have to push forward with 1.5 minutes to go. Only annihilation to their name. Whereas Ignatius have annihilation window and a close overclock, and then Dragons coming up right after that. Looks like you get an early quick pick. It's going to be definitely tough. As Victor sits here, just kind of jumping between the payload, but Jetty gets piced off by a well-placed shot by Vazen. Wall, on forward. And looks like that's just going to have Talon back up as Jetty is out of the fight. Ice block forced. So it looks like they're just going to be waiting to walk out of spawn here. Window pop, but a good ice wall ends up preventing the use of the window for now. Car remains very low, but it ends up just hiding behind the payload. It's then going to walk forward, going to walk with it, but both annihilations popped here. But Karki looks to get the better use of it as Victor gets 2 buffs to end up allowing the team to kind of walk forward. All 3 available by Talon popped here. try to get forward. Ace pop the volley, hits his base in. As there looks like they might take this with about a bit of time left remaining. But Fox is going to be sitting here on point, trying to deny as much space as possible, but ends up getting frozen here by Nightmare, and unable to do too much. As it looks like they will end up taking this. Unfortunately, no time in the bank.
Score 3-3.
Now, will they play out the overtime?
Ready for battle.
Looks like they will play out the overtime here.
Looks like I'm waiting on the others. Cheers, love! It's time to save the world!
Fox assing, obviously they played out. And obviously being the point of contact for this match is up to everybody else, so do we get to see a chance to play? Nah. As next pick's going to Ignatius, up 2-1. And it looks like they want to go to Saravasa next. I will be right back while I do something. So we're just going to take a quick break while we wait. If they get into a game, my apologies, but we're just going to take a quick break here. And we're back. Hopefully you all can hear me. Yeah. Yeah. We're here. And so we're back. It looks like everybody was taking a bit of a bathroom break. So, we're just gonna be, chilling here. As we are waiting to get underway here. So 2 1 maps for Ignatius, and map pick by Ignatius goes to Saravasa, so we're going to Flashpoint. So the only other one we'd have is Push. Looks like their Talon still has a few people still waiting to get back, so... Bro, I'm tired. I decided to do this. I'm tired as shit. As we're just kind of waiting. So, what we think they'll run? Well, there's not like any change in their lineup. I'm surprised they haven't brought Hugh in, especially if they want to play more brawl comps, considering I think Hugh is a very good brawl tank. And we haven't seen Leviathan or Lion come in. Ronan played 1 game. Oh, it looks like Ronan is coming back in, so... And it looks like that'll be the swap, so...
Traveling to Suravasa.
As we get into our Saravasa match.
Ready for battle.
As we get into Saravasa, we're just going to kind of float around the map a little bit. And we're still kind of waiting for Ignatius to kind of get their team comp together.
5, 4, 3.
Looks like they're still trying to figure that out. We wait here on the first point, and we take a look at the comp. So, kind of interesting from Talon. They're kind of running the World Finals Malga frontline with, obviously, Malga, Echo, Reaper. But instead of a Brig Juno, it's going Kiri Lucio. So that'll be interesting to watch. And it looks like Ignatius running the Ram with the Bap Weaver. Obviously, kind of prolong the fights a little bit, and Matt is going to be going over to the Sombra with Evasion on the Genji. At least that's what it's looking like, unless they decide to ready up. As we wait here, a minute to go. As we wait for them to attack. But it looks like they're just going to keep adding time to the clock. For some reason. They might be waiting for somebody to come back. So we're just going to fly around the map a little bit for your entertainment. Close my door. Saravasa, though, is a beautiful map. Let's see if we can spot any of the, like, the reworks or anything like that to the map. Anything anybody notices, because obviously played the map a bit, so obviously I'm not sure about any of the reworks that they've done to this map. even on first, let's see. Anything of note? Unless the map reworks are not coming to like mid-season, because I still like everything looks the same still, so. We're just gonna keep floating around till we see something.
Five, four.
Until we oh, damn it. Okay, back to floating around. Looks like Ignatius is still kind of deciding what they want to possibly run here. As we pass by their spawn, we'll say hello to all of them chilling in spawn here. Foss just wants to dig it, put himself into the corner. But looks like we'll be getting going here. As an early sim TP, it looks like they'll be wanting to contest here on the flank stairs, whereas it looks like Talon's going to be running up straight up main. It looks like they'll be contesting the part first, but they're going to be poking it out. So, Somber cast with a Lucio. And Matt's going to end up picking out Nightmare early. With the help of the Somber, Somber's still great generally at assassinating if she can do it quickly enough. Boss going to be running in, trying to contest Victor, but ends up deciding to run away. Though, Vazen does end up catching out Carr, and so, with Ronin, and so, looks like Talon's gonna be forced to back up here, but Nightmare does take out Matt on the way out. First cap will go to Ignatius. Tossed by Mayfield as they're just going to be keeping their team up here. Matt ends up taking on Alpha. And now Jetty's low. He's just going to be holding here on this high ground. And forces Talon to have to back up again. 60% counting here for Ignatius. This Somber is just providing a lot of value early on. Matt sits here on the high ground, on the angle. But ends up getting spotted out by Nightmare, gets spy checked, but then decides to run away. Window popped, and so Carr steps on the gas and ends up stomping out Mayfield. But oh, but if you stomp, ends up canceling the oh, but the beat doesn't connect here. But the help of the coffee does end up allowing them to change the fight into their favor. 4 ults here used by Ignatius with only 2 here on Talon. So we'll have 3 ults here for this next fight, but a huge beat coming up for Foss. If you can time this beat well, they should be able to likely last through it. But a good catch of Cage, who knows, could deny that. They're just going to be waiting, but Matt looks to poke out first. But looks like they'll be playing on the stairs. And Carr is gonna hit the beat as they're stuck in the cage. It's gonna keep them up for now. But Vasion is one to get picked out. 60 and counting for Talon. Still have Blossom and a Kitsune Rush as Matt ends up getting poked out. Carr's just gonna be poking this, but decides to kind of away, as same as Fox. They're just kind of poking each other out. Ronan TP's onto the high ground just above them. Blossom here, pop, and Ronan goes in, gets one. Unfortunately, ends up getting finished out by Vasion. Or not Vasion, by Fox. The Fox looks to try to catch Alpha. Unfortunately, unable to, but still looking to poke it out. Almost got him. And counter in Fox, just managing to catch out as Jetty has to run away. But Carter just runs right through Boss, and now it's just a tank duel on point, and Malgra's life has so much better sustain than a Ram, but Fox ends up shield dancing. Managing to shield dance far away. It looks like they will get this first point, 199. It looks like Palace will be the next flashpoint here that we'll be playing on. So it looks like Talon is going to want to run through this small choke here on the high ground. Obviously no ults to their name. 3 ults here coming up for Ignatius, so they're going to have to want to play either quick. But they're just going to run in. Fox is just going to run in with that Annihilation. They're trying to catch out the rest of the team, but a huge stomp here by Carr. Ends up managing to stop the push a little bit, but unfortunately, there's no way we'll be able to stop it much there, as Fox ends up getting the double, and the rest of the cleanup there is caught up by Vazen and Matt.
Taking the objective. Double or effort.
I gotta remember sometimes what the fuck the buttons are. I was doing well in the beginning, now I can't fucking do shit. Beat popped here by Victor. Try to push aggressively in. They're gonna poke out. Looks like Ignatius is just gonna back out into the room. Though a huge EMP catches 4. And that's gonna force Talon back. But a huge cage ends up having to force the Deadeye application. But oh, Deadeye still kicks out too. The Deadeye still managed to do enough damage to the cage to finish it out. Megan gets a double piece. One of apparently the worst ults in the game, but still a fun ult to play with if you can get a good kill with it. Rocking that galactic ammo. Just quickly, go for the crosshairs of everything. I just wanted to kind of point that out. Just the crosshairs. Everybody with their different crosshairs.
Nice.
Window here, popped by Meg. Jason gets the pick, and manages to stick, and Nightmare kind of caught out by themselves. 99-0. Malga still contesting the point. Gets a stomp on, but Jetty ends up getting kicked out, but Victor also remains very low. Unfortunately, can't last there on point. Victor, though, escapes with his life, but that's 2 points taken here by Ignatius. Though I will say, like, these fights are generally closer than what it may seem. Though, I'd say Ignatius just had that one more clutch moment generally to kind of help them, as they have 3 ults to work with, but Talon having 2, and a very close beat coming up. It's just going to matter if they can pop it here. Looks like Talon. Car is going to be moving up here, looking for possibly a good spot here. Ends up going to run away. But Fox ends up getting the Lucio in the trade and the Echo. So that's just going to have to force Talon to have to back up and reset here. But there's one all out of the way. Ronan with a Blossom gets 1. And manages to finish off Boss here on the Lucio. And now it's just going to eat up here at Fox. Matt tries to take him with, but Car just runs him over. Quite literally. The car keys of the car are, and now the car is running away. And that point, just crushing everybody. 4 ults here for Ignatius, with 3 here for Talon. Ronan's just going to be kind of poking here from this high ground. Keeping Ignatius in check. as they're just gonna look to kind of walk around. Ignatius kind of holds space. But a cage. But an EMP breaks the cage. And at that point, it's just a reset here. Huge EMP here. Huge EMP, but that puts it about 75%, with then 15 counting for Ignatius, as they still have 3 of their ults, with another Annihilation here close on the way. Takes Ronan out, and so it looks like Talon will have to reset here. Waiting for a chance to recontest, but Jetty just kind of watching that angle, trying to see if they can pick out Invasion. 5% and ticking. Beat, you're submitted, but then a reverse beat here. Can we get a good noon here? But it looks like it's just gonna kite out. Oh, but it catches Victor. He's not gonna be able to run away. That's gonna be 3 points here. For Ignatius, as they will technically win the map at this point, but again, being a scrim, we'll play all the points. Car's kind of left by himself, so he's going to be running away here. Just trying to make sure he lives for the next point. Good support ults pop for Talon, but unable to get the fight win there, with Annihilation in hand for Ignatius.
In 10 seconds.
It looks like we'll be going to Garden here. And there goes the Annihilation. Trying to see if they can get any value off of it. Matt will pick out Nightmare here on the side. Fortunately, no other value from the Annihilation. Matt's kind of forced to run away. Quick kills for Talon might end up swinging this team fight in their favor as they lock down the rest of the team. Unfortunately, Jetty is the one to get kind of left behind. If Fox manages to take them out before they end up dying themselves. Looks like going to be 56% for Ignatius before Talon ends up getting this cap. Alright. Let's take a look at the stats after 3 points, going into 4. We're there for you to look. You get the deposit to keep looking, get free, but obviously this is what the point is, and there are the points. People are running. As they continue back to the fight, as Corky gets very low. Pops the cage, get their ammo back. And Ronan's gonna pop the Blossom as well. Ends up getting 2 with the Blossom and finishing up Fox. Good Blossom cage. Always a great combo right there. But 2 ults ready to go here for Ignatius, with 3 very close on the way. With pretty much 3 ults to go after they just used 2. For Talon. Ronan's gonna be poking this out a little bit. Jetty's gonna commit. Gonna go fast. Oh. But that'll be point here for Talon. They finally managed to get the point win. EMP committed, but unfortunately it's not going to be able to do anything. As Talon's just going to end up winning the point, as they kind of just ended up running through. Even through the EMP, it's still not going to stop the consuming rush. With a beat to help. As it looks like Ignatius is going to be the first ones on the points, so they're going to be able to set up first here. But Kara is going to set up here on this left side technically for them. On this cliff face. Trying to see if they can get any little bit. Oh, good headshot by Basin. Good thing we got in time for that. Gonna swing around here. See if we get a pick. See if possibly an off angle noon. Just gonna pop some shots here. Pop some shots here on the off angle. R runs in, gets very low. Unfortunately, unable to get finished off immediately, but they are able to finish off the fight in general. Annihilation committed. Evasion just doinking at this point. And Foxart and Vazen are just absolute server admins right now. With the help of Sombra, it also makes it generally a lot easier. Sombra gonna be kind of sitting on the angle. Ronan with the Reaper gonna be checking. And they got the point touch. Jake pops out the MR. Can they get a pick? No, they can't. Boss pops out the beat. Nightmare though gets the copy with the help of Annihilation.
All systems on optimal level.
So 99 here for Ignatius as they pop kind of most of their all of their available ults, but somewhat close coming up. They just gotta build them hopefully quickly. But one ult ready to go with two very close on the way here for Talon, so it's gonna be a pretty even ult fight if who decides to go first. But it's just generally is Talon gonna kind of rush this situation and play immediately aggressive first, or are they gonna kind of wait it out and come play responsible? As Car's off there, trying to buy some space. His net looks like kind of potentially back tap. Back off. Looks like they won't take it with the help of the window, but Victor is gonna pop that beat. EMP. And it looks like that will be a fight win. There looks like there's nothing else that Talon can do, and that will be another map win here for Ignatius.
Temple defeat. Next, Flashpoint Garden. Play of the game.
I'm surprised it wasn't Vazen with that noon denial of the cage. So the only emo we have technically left is push, so we'll see what potential push map they may want. As Ronan is just kind of having issues deciding whose pick it is. looks like we're still deciding kind of where we want to go here at this moment. As we wait here for the map pick. Esperanza seems to be the push map pick here for Talon, and Ace is going to be going back in. Are we going to have any other changes? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like everybody's ready to go. We're going to get into this into push and possibly the final map here of the scrim. Oh, and I might need a mat. I might need to go to bed potentially after this, because holy fuck, I'm tired. Is it worth playing games when I'm tired? Probably not. Will I probably do it? Maybe. It looks like, though, Talon has wanted to commit to this Lucio Curie backline, not really wanting to stray too much from this. And so it looks like they'll be wanting to go back to the Malcolm comp, but instead of an Echo, they'll be going to a Genji, keeping the Reaper. And Fox is going to be going to the Diva with a Weaver Zen, with Vazen going to the Sombra and Matt playing like Cass. So I guess we'll see how they do on the opposites of each other. By the way, if you guys enjoy this, I'm trying to get kind of better at casting, and so anytime I get the chance to cast, it's always like a chance for me to have some fun and do this. So, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I need it. Please. Nah, just kidding. Nah, I do this as a hobby. But, we shall see. Here. But as we are using the scrim code DKEEH, one of the few things that doesn't play the map all the way, being a push.
4, 3,
But it looks like we'll get started here. It looks like these are the comps. Oh, May is going to be making the swap with
unlocks
Ana,
in 30 seconds.
as both teams are going to be running out. If I remember the thing. Here we go. Let's probably make it a little easier to kind of keep track of. Card's gonna get. This looks like Talon's gonna get the original opening of the point, or at least close to it. With Ignatius having to play behind, but it looks like they will force Card to have to back out here, as they will be the first ones to kind of hold the boss, but. The running stomp looks like Talon's able to get the pick. Able to DMAX
Let's do this. Pushing ahead.
And Fox is going to be making the swap over Orisa with Matt going to Bastion, Fox going to Moira. So it looks like a swap here in the composition. Facing is going to be sitting here on this high ground angle. But Nightmare is going to be checking that. He's probably checking with Fox and the rest of Ignatius in the small room. But Kara is going to be running up here on them. Try to see if they can force him down. Is it going to be big man off the top ropes? Yes, it is. As he runs in, tries to stop on Fox, but unfortunately can't do much. As Matt's going to be looking here to just kind of just eat up. Eat up the Malga. The Malga is a big hitbox, so it can't exactly escape from it. Unable to hit checkpoint. It looks like...
Move the robot.
It looks like...
Our push is underway.
It looks like Ignatius will be starting to push the bot on their side, probably getting it under the bridge before Talon is able to recontest. A quick hack, gets Jetty low, but is able to TP away from Vazen as Nightmare begins checking Vazen out. They begin pushing as Bastion with Matt and May sit on the high ground. Nightmare kind of making sure they stay humble. Quick beat and stomp. Even with cardiac overdrive, just a Bastion focusing on it. It's just really hard to deal with. But Nightmare does get a double kill. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that'll be enough for the fight win here. As I'm trying to kind of flip between people.
They took the robot from us.
There gets a kill on his Vazen.
Press forward. We will take the
Let us proceed.
Last turn, kind of checking.
Take back that robot.
Fortunately, Dex kind of being on his own. It's getting chased down. What the fuck? That's a horror jump scare and a half. Oh, a huge leap by May. Kind of keep themselves in it. Unfortunately, unable to kill their Bastion up. It looks like they'll just kind of be running in, just to kind of get the reset and keep it going. Lead still in firm favor of Talon by about 9 meters. But it looks like they will push and get that checkpoint. The Fox gets to run up in the room and kind of check bats out. Fortify pops. Fox will get the pick on the Alpha. And looks like... Oh, but a good EMP breaks the cage. Just leaves Card, just kind of left to fend for himself.
onward.
Hello there.
But it has a heavy investment there in the ult of both the Moira and the Sombra. But in return, there was the Blossom plus the Cage. So both teams kind of still replenishing their ults. The only thing available on the field is Kitsune Rush.
Taking care of you.
They'll be walking through this main choke here. Keeping it. Clearing it up. Nightmare looks to kind of keep their team humble. Jetty gets the pick. Tries to now. Nightmare's kind of making sure Boss can't freely push his boss. Boss gets the TP away, but huge terror surge. But unfortunately unable to do much with that afterwards. Gets the spear onto does get the spear onto Car, but unfortunately it's just unable to do much afterwards. That's gonna have to force Ignatius to back up, and it looks like Fox is gonna be making the swap over to Malga as well. Looks like we're gonna be running into a straight Malga mirror at this point.
Hey there.
As Talon will look to keep walking the bot forward, but it looks like they'll meet them at this corner. As Fox is gonna get a cheeky shot here. As they were poking Matt out. Victor does die, but the back does trade it out. Oh, but gets stomped on hard. In-game, in-game. All of you get your mind out of the gutter. We know where we're going.
Round numbers.
Then gets a virus here. Sing bot will be moving forward. Fox will get a big stomp. But Car will be there to help base tank. Nano on a Samba. EMP pop, but unfortunately goes wide of the Lucio. Blade here, popped by Nightmare. Looking to go in with help of the beast. Gets a swing, gets a kill. Unfortunately, gets killed by the anti-name. Oh, but a cheeky blossom by Ace ends up taking out the back line here of Ignatius, and will end up following up here. Fox will get the stomp kill. Fortunately gets taken out by Nightmare, as they got too cheeky for it. Probably should have backed out there. Probably wasn't the best idea to chase, but they will be out of cage here as they respawn, with Fox at the Coalescence. And a cage of their own for Talon with a continuing rush. So it'll be a both tank ult plus the support ult. As Nightmare and Invasion going to be having a duel here on the side, but Nightmare decides to blink is going to be the one who blinks first and decides to back out here. As Ignatius regroups here around the bot. 7-meter lead. Cage pops with the help Coalescent. There'll be something for it. But a continuing rush in response. Try to allow the team, and as now Card pups the cage of their own. Gets the double, and it's going to end up getting able to run it.
The look on your face.
There'll be a little bit more card push here for Talon before Victor is able to get back, and as well as another duel here, but Vazen ends up winning that duel. Pop by Matt. Stop. Jeez, the runaway car is just insane, man. Considering the name is Car Keys and they're just a runaway car, aka a Mauga. More like a runaway freight train, if anything. Looks like Talon's gonna be sitting up here on the high ground, just not wanting the rest of the team, Ignatius to get by them. Looks like Mayveld on the Baptiste is going to get kicked out, and looks like it'll just be a fight here around this corner. Fox at half health, wanting to kind of play, but unfortunately, Bass was just kind of sitting in their armpit. And they're going to end up continuing this Fox push a little further, as Matt ends up making the swap out of Genji. Fox to Weaver. Probably just trying to sustain the fight as much as possible. 40 seconds to go. 100 meters here gained by Talon.
Push, push, push.
30 seconds.
This Ace is just going to be waiting here, possibly for a chance at the Death Blossom, and there goes the Spear. Beat pops before anybody dies, but unfortunately, looks to be a trade on both ends. Blossom does get a kill, but trades out by Spear Spin. Victor's going to sit on this high ground, trying to see if they can make sure May doesn't get much use of it, but unfortunately, will get taken out. 125 meters. Looks like Hikari is going to back out here. Not gonna allow themselves here to die and be taken out. Invasion will get out into Hack Virus, and his car decides to run in a straight line of sight. Will get healed up by Jetty here, as Matt and Vazen are going to be kind of like chasing here a little bit. I'm really looking for some sort of pick here. They are close to a blade. Cage pop. Fortunately, does not manage to get anything of the sort. Victor ends up catching Foss and ends up running back into the fight, making sure the rest of the team is healed up. No amp to keep them up and going, but doesn't look like they will need it. Sune pop. Victor will look to good. Nightmare though, with a quick double kill, and it looks like that'll be a finish off. And that'll be a map win here for Talon as they do end up winning Esperanza.
Play of the game.
And I've got another glass of water with me. Great job to both teams, but it looks like we're nearing the end of the scrim block. I guess we'll see what they want to do, but I think that'll be the end of it. We shall see. And it looks like that'll be it for the scrim. And so, as we reach the end of our scrim, I just want to say thank you all for being here. That was a fun scrim to cast. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Click like, click subscribe. I don't know, just something. And yeah, it was a good match. Like, both teams had their had the momentum swings. It was actually a really close match. Like, either of the maps could have gone either way. Like, Ignatius didn't start out great, but they honestly picked it up in the middle. And Talon kind of dropped the ball somewhat there in the middle, but ended up picking up near the end, and they were very dominant on the Esperanza after the control dominance. So, I'd love to see these two teams go at it again, but we shall see if they ever do. But anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye now.